All right, so let's take a look at how to use a graphing calculator in order to input data and find the standard deviation. So anytime you get one of my calculators, the first thing you want to do is you want to clear the memory. So in order to do that, once your calculator is on, you're going to press second, the plus sign, second plus, and then 7 for reset, 1 for all RAM, 2 for reset, and then you should get a message similar to this on your screen, and then you can just hit clear. So again, that is second plus reset is 7, all RAM is 1, reset is 2. All right, and that'll just make it so there's nothing entered in the calculator and you're ready to rock and roll. Next, you're going to input data values. So to input data values, you press the stat button. Stat is right here near the arrow. So you press the stat button. And we want to edit or input data. So under edit, we hit 1. You can either press 1 or you can press enter to go into the edit menu. And you should see a blank table with 3 columns, L1, L2, L3. All right. We want to input the data values one at a time, pressing enter after each data value. So I want to remind you that these are the data values we're going to work with. We're going to start with class A. All right. So first number is 38. So I type in the 38. I hit enter and it'll show up in the table. Then I type in the 52, hit enter, it'll show up in the table. And I'm just going to keep going. Next is 63, then 65, followed by a 70, a 76, another 76. The important thing is that you type in the entire data value, or data table, the way that you see it. Oh, look, I made a mistake there. I typed in a 7 instead of a 77. So I can go up and highlight the number and type over it and correct it, okay? You got to take your time, go slowly, make sure every number is typed in correctly. If you make a mistake, use the arrows to highlight your mistake, type over it, and hit enter. Okay, 90, almost done here. 95, 95, 98, and 100. So there are my 15 data values. So that's the beginning part, typing the data values in, okay? Now to get your measures of variation, we're going to go back to the stat menu. So press the stat button again. And this time I want to calculate a value. So I go over and highlight calc using the arrow. And I want option number 1 variable statistics. So I hit enter. Now your screen, I think, will actually look a little bit different than this. It'll say 1 variable stats and it'll say like X list, Y list, so on and so forth. And then it says calculate at the bottom. You just want to use the arrow to go down so that calculate is highlighted, then press enter. Okay, so once you get the word calculate to be highlighted, just hit enter. Okay, and you're going to see a bunch of numbers, and there's a little arrow here, meaning you can scroll using the arrows. Okay. What you need is the X bar. You can see is 78. You see the sum of the X values, the sum of the X squared values. Those are all being used to figure out the standard deviation, which is this number right here. SX is your standard deviation. Okay. SX is your standard deviation. All right. So for class A, I'm going to write down that the standard deviation is 17.988 0913. And now we need to round that. All right. Our data values are all whole numbers. So I'm going to round to 1 decimal place. So what I do for my rounding is I take a look at the second value and ask, how does that round this? So the 8 rounds the 9 up. The 9 will round up again. So this is going to give me 18.0 for my standard deviation. All right. And I want you to make a list of some other important values here. X bar for this data set is 78. And I can even do my median. If I scroll down, you're going to see MED equals. MED equals. That's our median. So the good news is you will never have to find mean or median by hand again. You can do it using the calculator. You can also use the calculator to figure out your smallest and largest data values if you scroll down a little bit more. You've got 38 for a min and 100 for a max. All right, so the range would be 100 minus 38. And what you want to do now is I want you to go through and try to find the standard deviation for class B. All right, so give that a try.